In this video, I'm going to show you how to measure button clicks without any third-party application and save and filter the results straight in your content manager. So prepare your editors and let's get started. Here is my site with a button and I want to measure user interactions with it. First thing to know is that you cannot apply link and another click event on the same button. In that case, it will not work. To overcome it, what I'm going to do is to start with placing a button inside a container. Now when I'm done, let's start from adding a code. I'm turning on the dev mode on and going to the code snippet page. You can find the link to this page in the description. Here you can find two code snippets. The first one is for the page code, the page where the button is placed. Let's copy it. Now I'm replacing the code placeholder to the copied code. The next step is to find all the errors in the code and fix them. The first error is this JS file. It still doesn't exist on this site. The name of the file should be similar to one I have here in the code. So in this case, the name should be countries. Now let's create this file. I'm going to public and backend in the site structure panel and adding a new JS file named countries, exactly as I wrote in the code. Now I have this file tab in the code panel. The code for the file you can find in the same site I've already showed you. I'm copying the code and replacing the placeholder with it. I don't need to change anything here, so I'm switching the tab to the page code again. The next thing to fix here is the ID of the button container. I can change its ID to something more clear. Let's say discover more. And I'm copying the ID to the code. Now let's create a collection to save the results in it. Here in the content manager, I can create a new collection. I'll need the collection ID to use it in my code. At the end of the page code, you have this click word. Replace it with your collection ID. Now let's check the information I'm going to save to the data collection. Its title, you can change it if you need, device type, and country. That means that I have to create fields in my data collection for each one of these properties. In any collection, you always have a default title field, so I can move on to the next one. Let's copy this key name to use it as a field name and ID for the device type field in a collection. And I also remember that I have another one named country. Going back to my collection, I'm creating a new field with a type of text, and its name has to be exactly the same as I have in the code, so I'm pasting the copied value. same thing with the country field. The next thing to do is to change the collection permission settings. By default, only admin can add content to the collection. So to allow users to actually write their clicks in a collection, I'll have to change the permission to anyone. And usually the collection content is not going to be the part of the site content, so I'm changing the view permissions to admin only. And I'm publishing the site. Let's test it in a live site and click the button. Here is the same collection, but now you can see that I have the title that I named Click, my device type, and country. Pay attention that the country name we are getting from the user device time zone settings. That way it can cause some inaccuracies in case someone had wrong time zone, even that it doesn't sound like a common case. Now let's say you have more than one button to measure. So as usual, I'm placing it to container and changing its ID. Now I have to copy this part of the code and paste it right after. Now I'm changing the ID to the relevant container ID. And changing the title name if I want to see the difference in a data collection. I also have to change this variable name because I already have one named this way. After changing the name, I'll have to actually create the variable. Let's create it at the beginning of the function. In this way. In the live site, I'm clicking on both of the buttons and going back to the collection. Now you can see more clicks and they have different titles. Important thing, for now the code works this way that it saves only one click per each button during the same user session. That means that even if user clicked a button more than once, I will only see one record in the data collection. If you are interested to see all of the clicks that user did during the same session, what you have to do is to comment out everything that involves these variables. Let's check it now. Great, I can see as many records as I clicked on the buttons. Now let's go to the general analytics of the site and see how we can filter data there and then in our collection of the clicks as well. In the site dashboard, find an analytics tab and click on it. Here you can see all the traffic data of your site, including the data that we are interested in, such as device type and country. Now when I have the whole analytics overview, I can go back to my collection and create filtered views to make it easier for me to compare the data I've collected to the data I have in the statistics. Here I can filter by button that was clicked, device type or country. I also can filter by date. There is a field that is existing by default and you can make it visible by clicking on Manage Fields and checking the V of the created date field. Let's create a filtered view. I'm clicking on New View. Let's say I want to monitor user clicks from United States. In the second view, we'll combine two filters, clicks that were done from mobile devices and by users from Canada. In the United States view, I'm clicking on Filter button and adding a new filter. Here I want to display items that their country field value is equal to United States. In the drop-down, I'm selecting the field by which I will filter the view. In this case, it's a country field. Condition I'm setting to is and the value to United States. Now I'm adding the filter. You can see that we have different button clicks, but all of them are from United States. Let's set the second view. Here I'm doing the same process, but with another value in the country filter, Canada this time. And once I have this filter, I can add another one on top of it. And here I want to filter by device type, with value of mobile. If you are interested to see the data within a specific date range, you are adding another filter the same way. This filter is going to be by created date field. In a condition, I'm selecting between because I want a range of the dates. And here I'm selecting the dates themselves. You can see that the date here is within the range that I've set. So now I have 3 views and I can move easily from one to another and see the data the way I want. That's it for today and see you in the next videos.